everyone. Today we are going to start a new series on Python. In this first part, we are going to discuss about variables. Before understanding about variables, let's understand what is a program. A program is nothing but set of instructions, and these instructions are nothing but data plus logic. For example, we are writing a program on adding two numbers. So, as we discussed earlier, a program is nothing but data plus logic. So, to write this program, we need to have two numbers. In our case, we have 5 and 3. So, these 5 and 3 are nothing but data for us. For using this data in our program, we need to store it in a container or a box so that we can further use it in our logical part. So, this data is stored in a variable. So, in simple terms, a variable is a container with a label or a name that is used to store a data. Here, if you can see, 5 and 3 are data and A and B are nothing but variable names. Here, 5 is assigned to variable name A and 3 is assigned to variable name B. We use variable names to assign and identify the data. So, if we talk about A, it stores data 5 or a value 5, and if we talk about B, it stores a value 3 or a data 3. So, the next important concept is the rules for variable name. So before defining a variable name, we need to have we have certain rules in Python which we need to follow compulsory, and there are five here. And the first important rule is we should not use any reserved keywords for our variables. Python has a bunch of reserved keywords such as if, else, and for. There are a lot of them, and we should not use them as our variable name. And the next important rule is we should never start our variable name with a number. And the third one is a variable name should not contain any special characters such as dollar, hash, at the rate. We have a lot of special characters. So the variable name should not contain any special characters other than underscore. And it is better to use snake case for good coding standards. And this is a tip. And the fourth one is not a rule, but it is a tip. We always need to be specific with our variable names in order to not get confusion. Hello everyone, I'm on my Visual Studio Code now. Now I'll demonstrate you what will happen if we use reserved keyword as a variable name. Now I have used if, which is one of the reserved keywords in Python, as a variable name. Now let's try to run the code. It will give us a syntax error here. So never use reserved keywords as variable names. Instead of reserved keywords, I'll use something like number, which is not a reserved keyword. So it is completely fine to use this. So the next important rule is never use numbers at the starting of a variable name. For example, I'll take a variable name like 10 is equal to, I'll take it to 10. This this 10 is a string. So something which is written inside the double quote is called as a string. We'll learn about strings and other data types in any other video. In So now I have assigned 10 as a variable name. Now I'll try to run this now. Now it is giving us a syntax error. So never use numbers as a variable names, but we can use something like this, number 10. So this is completely fine. We can use numbers, but we cannot use it at the beginning of a variable name. We can use it at the middle or any at the end of the variable name. So this is completely fine. So now this is completely fine. So the third important point is never use special characters other than underscore. Now I'll take an example like name of employee, which is equal to John. Now I have used underscore here, which is completely fine. So instead of underscore, if I use any other special character such as ampersand or something like dollar, it gives us an error here. So never use special characters other than underscore. Underscore is fine, but Any other special characters is it will produce an error. So always use underscore. And something which is related to this is snake case. So snake case, so many Python developers use this snake case to define the variable name. So for example, I'll take a variable name like token number. So this is a variable name uh, which follows snake case. So for example, 500. So the token number is 500. Now what is snake case? So snake case means after every word we'll differentiate with an underscore here. So what happens here is the readability increases and uh, the understandability also increases. So it is better to use snake case. And the final and the important point is use specific names for the variables. So for example, I'll use x is equal to John. So this is not a specific name. X is not a specific name. Here the name of the employee is a variable name which is really specific. So use these kind of variable names instead of X or A or B or anything like this. So this is completely fine to use, but if you be specific, it increases the understandability. So always use these kind of specific names for the variables. So these are the five important rules which you need to keep in your mind before defining variable names. The next important concept which we are going to learn today is print function. In Python, we use print uh, to print the output on the command prompt or the console. Let's go to Visual Studio Code and understand with some examples. Now I'm on my Visual Studio Code. Now let's understand print function with an example. Now I'll create a variable called name, and name is equal to Bruce Wayne. So now I want to print this variable name on my console. So to do that, I'll use print function. So print and parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis, I'll write the variable name. So now if I press this run code icon, you'll be able to see Bruce Wayne on my console. Let's do it now. Yes, you can see it here. So I hope you understood that why we use print function. We mainly use print function to print the output on the command prompt or the console. So that is the main reason to use print function. The next important concept which we're going to learn is assigning multiple variables. In Python, we can assign multiple variables in a single line. Let's understand it by going into Visual Studio Code. I'm on my Visual Studio Code. So let's understand assigning variables in one line. So for example, I have three variables. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, and C is equal to 30. So if I want to assign all the variables in a single line, I can do it. So it's very simple. You just go a comma b comma c is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30. Now a here is 10, b here is 20, and c here is 30. So if I print a comma b comma c here, now we'll get 10 comma 20 comma 30 here, 10 20 30, right? So I hope you got this, and if you learned anything from this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.